we are going through the worst economic crisis ever.
This week, energy prices are soaring. The head of the World Bank says it's enough to trigger a global recession.
People are out on the streets. As cost of living continues to rise, shortages of essential commodities have become everyday stories.
In fact, the world's three main economic powerhouses, the United States, China, and the major European economies are all falling.
China might not be in a position to fund an invasion at this point because their economy is struggling.
In Europe, and it's the US next up.
Stagnation over there. In the euro, they're just sliding toward a recession. That's the view from Bloomberg Economics. The UK is already in stagnation. If recession is inevitable, the question really is just how deep.
Clearly, the global economy is going through a downshift.
And this is the same time Ghana and some African countries are taking the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to the next level. So let's pretend as if our currencies are not depreciating. Yeah, let's just pretend. Because this is the time we have to open our eyes and our ears to hear and see what our governments are doing.
But the truth of the matter is that there's so much going on in this country that sometimes you have to open your ears and also open your eyes. And the little that is going on, that may be the key to your own transformation. I know there are challenges, there are no doubt about that. And we are working our way through to ensure that we come out of what understandably is a very difficult situation.
So in this video, we would like to give you 3 reasons why we think Ghana is being too ambitious with the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. So we should take full advantage of it. We know that you already know what the African Continental Free Trade Area is all about, but we can't start a video like this without giving you a brief explanation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. So a free trade area is a grouping of countries where goods and services can be bought and sold between countries or sub-national regions without tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions being applied. The North American Free Trade Area and the European Free Trade Area Association are examples of free trade areas that we have in the world. But in this video, we are going to talk about the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, was signed in March 2018. The required number of countries approved it in May 2019 and came into force in January 2021. The AfCFTA is the world's largest free trade area since the establishment of the World Trade Organization in the year 1994. Because it connects about 1.4 billion people across the 55 countries on the beautiful African continent, with a combined gross domestic product, GDP, valued at 3.4 trillion. And this will help increase intra-African trade through more profound levels of trade liberalization and enhance regulatory harmonization and coordination. Research has shown that the AfCFTA will also help increase market access, and this can significantly grow Africans' manufacturing and industrial developments, tourism, intra-African cooperation, economic transformation, and the relationship between Africa and the rest of the world. In fact, with the AfCFTA, Africa will have a combined consumer and business spending of 6.7 trillion by 2030 and 16.1 trillion by 2050. And this will create a unique opportunity for the good people of Africa and Africa businesses, which means Africa will be the next big market in the entire world. And now, the African Continental Free Trade Area is ready and about to operate. It is going to operate as a platform for creating and strengthening ties between business communities. For now, the African Continental Free Trade Area has chosen about 8 African countries to start. And these countries are Cameroon, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Mauritius, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Tunisia. This is part of effort to diversify and increase export among African countries through export trading companies, whilst achieving the continental industrialization drive and making African economically self-reliant. But in this video, we are going to talk about one of the 8 chosen countries, which is the beautiful country Ghana. And here are 3 things that the country has done so far that shows that they are taking the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to the next level. But before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, because we want to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of this month. So please help us to achieve this goal. Thank you very much for subscribing. Now let's get started. 1. The country has launched something called Ghana National AfCFTA Policy Framework and Action Plan. On the 2nd of August 2022, the government of Ghana launched an African Continental Free Trade Area Policy Framework and Action Plan. This is like a Bible or a document that will provide policy prescription and strategy objectives with a focus on trade facilitation, trade policy, infrastructure, enhanced productive capacity, trade information, market integration, and finance to Ghanaian businesses that are interested in exporting to other African countries. The document was put together by the AfCFTA Interministerial Committee, National AfCFTA Steering Committee, and 7 technical working groups that comprised representatives from the private sector, senior government officials, and other technical experts. At the launch of this document, Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, who is Ghana's Minister for Information, launched the document on behalf of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he said the implementation of the framework was crucial to ensure that Ghanaian businesses export significantly into the African continent.
To the Ghanaian private sector, your government is working through this and other initiatives to make it relatively easier for you to get access to this large market in Africa so that you can trade more goods and services out.
2. The launch of the AfCFTA Hub. On August 29, 2022, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization and the Ministry of Trade and Industry, launched AfCFTA Hub. According to the Ghanaian Minister for Communication and Digitalization, Mrs. Esla Owusu Ekufu, the purpose of the African Continental Free Trade Area Hub is to ensure that the quest for Ghanaians to export their ICT goods and services across African continent and beyond, Ghanaian businesses must have a trusted profile outside of Ghana, as well as to strengthen the industry and regulators to combat fraudsters who will also want to use the AfCFTA to regionalize their odious activities. The AfCFTA Hub is a concept in Ghana to promote, enhance, and advance digital trading, electronic commerce, and e-market transaction in general. According to the Minister for Communications and Digitalization again, this will also provide a unique number of entities to facilitate security in trade.
Boosting uptake of digital services, suppressing fraud, and increasing the efficiency of doing business in Ghana and beyond. Because the hub is also being rolled out in other markets, businesses would find that the benefits of the AfTA number and the AfTA Common Transaction Framework will extend well beyond Ghana.
Today, by the power of digital technology, no one should be left out of anything and not the opportunities of continental trade. Selling a service to a customer in Kigali or Yaoundé or Rabat, if it was before a nightmare, it is now only a button's click away. We must take advantage of the array of digital tools and electronic platforms available to us to deepen trading goods and services across the continent.
And finally, Ghana is seeking to earn over 25 billion from exports over the next 5 years. In the year 2020, Ghana was number 73rd economy in terms of GDP out of the 195 countries we have in the world. The country made 13.1 billion from exports, and some products they exported were gold, which they made 5.9 billion out of it. Crude petroleum made the country 2.7 billion. Cocoa beans made them 1.2 billion. Cocoa paste made them 414 million. Coconut, Brazil nut, and cashew nut made them 361 million. And some other products like wood, aluminium, copper, and more. They exported all these products in their raw state. And we all know that raw products are way cheaper than processed products. But now, according to Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, who is Ghana's Minister for Trade and Industry, this is going to change. Yes, because with the help of the country's One District, One Factory initiative, more products are now being made locally. So the government is implementing something called a National Export Development Strategy, and this is to help change Ghana's export from raw products to processed products to increase the country's non-traditional exports. Under the National Export Development Strategy, they are going to export some 17 priority products, and these products include automobile, because now there are so many car manufacturing companies producing vehicles in Ghana. They are also going to export industrial salt and starch, sugar, processed oil seeds, aluminium, iron and steel, pharmaceutical products, textiles, and others, with a target of making a revenue of 25 billion, which they are going to take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
When we talk about the fact that Africa, in spite of all the natural resources that we control, still contribute only 3% of global trade, it is because what you are exporting has no value. What you are exporting has no value, or is of very little value. That is why you contribute only 3% of global trade, in spite of the fact that you control all the natural resources. So for us in Ghana, the key is to diversify our economy away from cocoa and gold. And in this regard, we are promoting 10 new strategic anchor industries. When you hear about Volkswagen, Toyota, Nissan cars being produced in Ghana now, it is because of the vision that this government had in identifying new strategic sectors that will diversify our economy. So one of them is the vehicle assembly. And it's not just assembling vehicles, we are also aggressively working towards developing component manufacturing so that we can produce most of the components that go into the production of our cars. Under the National Export Development Strategy, we are projecting that we'll earn almost $25 billion over the next 5 years. And that is why industrialization is important, because if you don't industrialize, you cannot produce. And if you cannot produce, you cannot export. So exports is fundamental to the transformation of our country.
So these are some reasons why we think Ghana is not joking with the African Continental Free Trade Area. And again, some African countries are also doing their best in various ways to make the African Continental Free Trade Area a reality. So please, let's try our best to shift our attention from the distractions we are hearing in the news concerning the hardship and everything, and let's focus on what the government is implementing. Maybe our lives can change by doing something on our own, because this is the time for Africa. Let's take full advantage of it. And may God bless Mama Africa, and may God bless you too for watching. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. My name is Sherif Haruna. Have a joyful day and see you in our next video. Mackerel.